People of Reddit, what country would you never visit? Dubai, too hot, too plastic, too draconian, full of rich knob heads. Hard pass. My friends were there. Said, overrated AF. Shit food. Great place to look but nothing to experience. North Korea, my home country. Zimbabwe. Shit is fucked beyond belief. Hint hint, above 90% unemployment rate. I am not from Zimbabwe, but my grandpa used to work there with a Serbian company. I think it was mine work. Not sure. Sucks to hear that, honestly. Was thinking about visiting sometime. The country is beautiful and the people are nice. It's just everything else that deters people. By all means go. Tourism gives people jobs and God knows they need those. You'd be doing a service to the people with your time and money. Meanwhile, you could have an unforgettable once-in-a-lifetime experience. China. Why not? You can get lifetime tour to one of their many concentration camps. Exclamation mark. Saudi Arabia. I'm an atheist and female. Even if I was Muslim and male, I still wouldn't want to live in Saudi Arabia. Canadian here. I'm never visiting China. They're torturing our people because they're butthurt over the Huawei fiasco. Legoland. The people have very strange hands. This country is so fucked that they had to build a rescue helicopter while a man was drowning in a river. Genovia. Yeah, it just hasn't been the same since the departure of Queen Amelia Mignonette Grimaldi Thermopolis. Rinaldi. But the pairs. Definitely USA. Sometimes I think the same. I'd love to visit, but the thought of encountering an American police officer scares me. They just seem so violent and unable to do their job. For context, I'm from Italy. Truthfully, you probably wouldn't have any interactions with them, especially in the tourism areas. You only hear the 1% of 1% of cases. People have thousands of interactions with police every day without issues. Sounds like the Reddit propaganda machine is doing its job. American police are not as bad as what this site would have you believe. Same. For me, it's because I don't like the thought of everyone having guns. What's stopping them from shooting you at any moment? Here in Portugal, only cops have guns and we don't have as big a problem with police brutality as Americans do. It's not the Wild West. Dude, we don't have people walking around with guns open for everybody to see in cities, challenging each other to gun duels at high noon. Most populated areas have very restrictive concealed carry gun laws. Almost all gun violence is confined to poor neighborhoods with really high crime rates in certain parts of cities like Chicago, Detroit and Los Angeles. Stay out of those parts and you'll be fine. As for the police brutality thing, we are working on passing bills for reform, both at the state and federal levels. America, 'cause shit's fucked up over there. RN. It's just the media. Life hasn't changed. If you go to the South. Kindest people with no riots or anything. Greater than F you go to the South. Kindest people with no riots or anything. I'm a foreigner living in the South. Well, Texas, which isn't really considered the South by some people. And I've faced my fair share of unkindness. Don't get me wrong. I have some great friends who are from these parts, but I feel like they're more the exception than the norm. Monsieur Southern hospitality comes with hidden clauses. India, cows are more important than women. Also too many cases of sexual assault. Stay away. Also, I've heard the smell is unbearable, but that probably depends where you are, and also what you're used to. Somalia. Well, in that case, you should go with Eritrea. Things are so fucked in Eritrea, the refugees flee to Somalia for a better life. Saudi Arabia. I'd love to visit, but unfortunately I am a gay woman who looks the part. Stereotypically speaking. So, maybe not a good plan, haha. Puerto Rico, cause my dad said that the roaches fly there and that they're also big as hell. You will not be happy when you find out about Australia. PR is not a country. Australia. I hate spiders. Hey, I live in Australia and the spiders are not too bad, just don't go in your roof, that's where the huntsmen are. Lol. Or the letterbox where the redbacks are. Huntsmen are harmless, just massive cute furry things. Australia's beautiful. I wouldn't worry too much about the spiders. The drop bears are a much bigger problem, monsieur. Fortunately, they sell Vegemite in most decent grocery stores. A dab of that behind the ears keeps them well away. I was talking with an Australian once about how Australia is scary because everything wants to kill you. He said, dude, you're from Canada. Canada is terrifying. We have spiders and snakes and shit. But you don't see them that often. And even if you did, they don't bother you. And if they did, you could easily kill them because you're 100 times their size. You have wolves, bears, cougars, moose, and a bunch of other big animals. Those are scary. If those things decided they wanted you dead, you wouldn't stand a chance. To be honest, I'd still rather want a bear outside in the woods somewhere than a huntsman in my room. Likelihood of going to the toilet and finding a bear under the seat equals effectively zero. Poor South American areas. They will mug ya. PLs cum to Brazil PLS. Rio de Janeiro was almost comical how much crime there was. In 10 days, I saw a stabbing, 3 purse snatches. A girl we had chatted with got pushed off her bike and robbed by street kids. My friend got his wallet stolen. My other friend got robbed during a mustard scam. A carjacking. I was with 6 jack guy friends, so I didn't really care. It was actually beautiful and the most fun nightlife I've ever experienced, but it was definitely just like real-life GTA. I'd actually definitely go back. But zero chance I'd bring a loved one with me. Don't know about you, but I rather come in females. Australia. I know it's stupid and I really want to go, but everything there wants to kill me. Honestly, I live in Australia and haven't seen a live large spider in probably years. Unless you go out to the Simpson Desert, you'll be fine. Cockroaches do my head in though. Large enough to adopt your fucking kids. Now I've just got the idea of a cockroach so hench and handsome that it can get with your ex. And that she'd be really into it. And that not only is he a hench and handsome cockroach, but he has a heart and his life together. And he loves your kids so much that he adopts them as yours, so be more like an Australian cockroach, I guess. Like a roachy Chris Hemsworth. Didn't expect to read cockroach cuck erotica at 1 a.m. but there's a first time for everything. India is the only country I won't visit. I have traveled NK extensively. Been to Syria, with work, and many places throughout the Middle East, so I'm not usually put off, but it's a no for India from me. I'm Indian and I would say stay away unless your husband tags along. Real dangerous. 100% chance of being scammed, and it's not safe for women. Especially women traveling alone. Shame. It's probably my favorite country to travel to. It tends to be a love it or hate it place though. As an Indian, I agree with your reasoning. It isn't quite safe to be traveling alone. Torred, because it doesn't exist. There's a fucking reference. One of my favorite urban legends. As a European, I never thought so many people wouldn't actually like to visit USA. I get the whole racism, guns and all, but there's still 50 states and you can choose places. I've thought many times about visiting places like the Grand Canyon, Bryce Canyon, Yellowstone, Yosemite, Hawaii, although I would prefer the Maldives, etc. Greater than I get the whole racism which exists in literally every country. Lol. American in Vilnius. When I speak with my friends who considers visiting the States, they do have a real fear of encountering police or encountering racists who wouldn't understand. They're a tourist. I think media plays a big part. Culture shock of the Europeans in America is real. My Lithuanian wife at her visit to an American restaurant, "I'll have the chicken avocado club." Then the server says very loudly and quickly, "All right hun, for the side you want fries. Sweet potato fries, mashed potato, loaded potato, sweet potato mash, or tater tots." Quote, "She just stared at the lady and didn't reply. Later, she almost started crying because she thought the waiter was mad and wanted us to leave." because she put the check on the table while we were still eating. I had to explain, I live here, and I'd probably stare blankly too. Sometimes the servers recite their list of choices on autopilot. The US is so vast and diverse. Yes, national parks like Yosemite are absolutely beautiful. Lake Tahoe is stunning. There are some unusual museums and exhibits you can visit. The La Brea Tar Pits in Los Angeles. The Shed Aquarium in Chicago. Hell, near me is the Duke Lemur Center, which has the largest collection of lemurs outside Madagascar. Big cities like New York and Chicago are fun just to visit. Out in Nevada, you can visit ghost towns and do beautiful hikes in the desert or in the mountains. Don't let our president or crooked cops deter you. There have been some extreme riots, but overwhelmingly there have been peaceful protests across the nation. Keep in mind, the media isn't going to show you people quietly protesting. They are going to show the shitheads breaking into storefronts and setting fires. Brazil. This is coming from a Brazilian that live in Brazil, and this nation has the highest homicide rate in the world. There is no country I wouldn't visit. There are some places that would require more protection than I could afford right now. But there's beauty everywhere if you look with an open mind and an open heart. And a fat fucking wallet. I'd say Russia or any cold country. I can't deal with the cold. In Russia it isn't cold all year. In summer it's warm or sometimes hot. Not in every city. But Sochi, for example. Dude, I live in Siberia, Kemerovo. It's fucking 29 to 36 degrees TOODAY. It's never be so hot there. Makes sense considering how big the landmass is. Better to say Scandinavian countries, cause in Russia a lot of different climates. It gets pretty hot in the summer. I got heat stroke out there once. Well, Russia is in my top 3 places I'd like to go. America. It's a shame I live here though. Israel. I got to visit there. Very interesting nation. Massive amounts of history and diversity. Your loss. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.